Hello, hello. Welcome to another stream of DSA with Shashank. And today we are just doing this live stream so that we do not break the consistency. I have so many things pending, and I have other priorities as well. But this is the utmost prioritized task that I have to do in a day. So so therefore we are live streaming. I will quickly check if I am live stream. And also things are a bit different now. I am at my home. The lighting, the my inverted face, you may find things very different today, and I am finding things very different today. Well, these are not the things we must worry about. The thing we must worry about is none other than actually doing DSA. And while I open till the time I open my coding ninjas and DSA log sheet, I am not showing you my screen. And also, this is going to be a very short live stream. Now I will show you my screen, and this is my OBS, and this is me live streaming, and I've checked, I've liked, and I'll write WLCME welcome. Okay, now let's go on to our, what do you say? Back to the pavilion. So this is a pavilion where we want to come daily, and we don't want to lose our streak. We have been streaming for so many days. 1 2 3 4 5 no, 7 3 and 3 7 3 and 3 is 13 days. This is going to be a second, this is going to be a 14th day. We don't want to lose our streak, right? So we'll come on data structures, and for those who have joined and for those who have been seeing me, I have a good news to tell you, but I'll tell that news on 26th, because on that day, wow, am I streaming? Am I not streaming? Oh, my webcam is not visible. Now you can see my webcam. So the net seems to be slower than usual, a lot slower. Well, not slow enough to make us not to do DSA. Resume learning. We don't want to spend a lot of time. Actually, we have very less time. I have to prepare for something big. Oops. Why is the net so slow? Give me a second. Yep, perfect. Perfect. This keyword was our last resort. We watched this video. I think we have to do these, and static function also we did. We can start just by doing questions, right? What will be the output of the following code? Class car static int year. So this variable works regardless of the objects you create. It does not depend it does not depend on object creation. You do not need to initialize an object to use this. You can use this directly with the class name, and same goes with this. Oh, not with this, because this is not static. I'm telling the story for static int year, right? Class new year, public static void main, and class C is equal to car. Okay, fine. Car dot year is equals to 2018. Okay, you are declaring we are not using final keyword, so yes, we definitely can update car. Okay, we initialize the object, we have updated the year. Car C is equals to name Kia. Okay, you have assigned the car company name Kia, and then you are initializing another object, and then you are printing D, so it is 2018 for sure. Woohoo, and we are in the streak. What will be the output of the following code? Pick one. Okay, constructor 1, constructor 2. Okay, class test int A, int B, test. And this is the reference for this class. It means the constructor. Wow, I haven't thought about using this instead of the class name. This is actually constructor 1. This is referring to the constructor, right? Class name. So you're passing these values where? Over here. This constructor, you're passing the value constructor 1. Okay, and then you have this test constructor, and this is another constructor, and here you have that you are giving the values. So here we are actually not passing any values, then by default this will work, I guess. Constructor 2, so the answer will be constructor 1, I guess. Constructor 1. Oh, wow. Constructor 1, constructor 2. Okay, so we are actually unaware about how this is actually working. So I'm presuming that in the test class we have this is also acting as constructor. Then you have another actual constructor int A, B, then you have these parameters. You're assigning A and B over here, right? And you have to write constructor, then you're just initializing the constructor, and this will run regardless of constructor 1 and constructor 2. If constructors have to work, they automatically run, then this is going to be the code, right? And this is going to be the code, because you are actually not passing anything, and this is the only constructor where it is presuming the assumptions, the inputs by itself. Let's see, it is either of these, so let's go with this one. Wow, now it's this one. We are not left with if 10 points. Okay, when the object of test class is created, can we mark this? Can I mark this? Okay, when the object of a test class is created, the constructor with no arguments is called. Okay, when this is encountered, the constructor with two arguments int is called, because this is the reference of the object. This is the reference of the object. So using this way, we can call more than one constructor. I've still not understood. When the object of the task class is created. Okay, yes, the object it was created, right? Why don't we see the problem? The object is created, right? The constructor with no arguments is called. No argument. The constructor with no arguments is called. This is called, right? Constructor with no arguments is called. When this, right? This is referring to the, oh my god, this is referring to this object. This object. When this is encountered, the constructor with two are, oh wow, now I've understood. Actually this, okay, when now we are passing two things inside This now automatically this constructor will work. When this is complete, then this will work. Wow, understood. But I have to mark this. Which line of the following code would generate an error? Class test static int marks void set marks int main sorry, int marks. What you're actually doing is you have static marks, then you have void set marks, right? Now this dot marks, you are taking marks here. Now public static void main t you have initialized, and then t object you are using to set marks 78. Test marks you are calling test marks directly, then you have 78. Oh, which line will cause error? Actually, test marks, this cannot uh, give an error. This also cannot. Well, this can give an error. Well, this is not conceptually correct. You're calling a static method in a non-static you're calling a static data member inside a non-static variable, and you are referencing it with the object name. Here also you are giving the object. Well, this is valid, I know. I'll call line 1 or 2. No, line 2. Wow. You are left with line 3, I mean. So actually we have no errors. My bad. Why do I have to think that there are any errors? It is not necessary to have any errors. What would be the output of the following code? Class test, static int a, 10, and static int b. Now you have static function void fun, and you have b is equals to 40. Okay, b is equals to 40. Now you have created an object, and you have utilized that object to call this function fun. Now you have to print 40 plus 10 is 50. 50 will be the answer. Please don't say no. We are sure that this is the answer. Yep. Now, oh, give us some lecture, dude. Is my screen visible? Yes, my screen is. Oh, sorry. Hi, viewer. Today I cannot see you actually because I am having only one screen today. And when have you commented? And that also is not visible. Maybe in the chat section it becomes visible. No, it is not visible. Why are the timestamps not visible? Well, thank you for joining. Thank you. But when I am solving questions today, I won't be able to see you commenting. Now, which of the following lines would produce an error? Class test, static int a, b, a, b. Can you assign a value? Yes, you can assign a value, but you have to declare b, right? You have to write this b. Then you're calling fun2. The fun2 is actually this, and you're calling from m2. This gets printed, and then this b will get printed. This b, the object. Oh, wow. How will it know which b are we using when this b? Then the object. Initialize in the object. Is it sure One or more answers may be correct. Which of the following lines would produce an error? Well, I don't. Well, if somebody would have asked that if this is going to produce an error or not, I would have said no, but because we are not left with that option, so we are with the options of choosing which lines are actually errors. So class test, class class, so static, this is static, so you can call it over here, but you have to refer the class name, dude. So this line is going to give an error. Okay, you are calling it over here, you are calling test directly from the class name, that's correct. This is definitely valid, right? And from the class name, then you are going over here, then you are telling that a is equals to 20. Now which a is equals to 20? A has not been initialized here, so we will assume that this a is equals to 20. Okay, well, you have to write test dot a in order to actually assign the static member of the class this value. Well, this is not the correct way. Line 1, let's choose line 1. B, can it be assigned a value? Yes, B can be assigned a value. It must not be called, but is this correct? I don't know. Now fun2, you calling fun2. Now this will run. Now you're calling oh my god, this is 100, definitely this is a blunder. You're calling a non-static method inside a static method. This is for sure a blunder. Now this won't work, and then this dot b, then you're calling this value. Which object? And line 4. Actually, line 3 and line 4 will produce an error. What? I don't want to exhaust my points. Let's use this. I think all the 4 lines produces an error because no object has been created. Wow, 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 wow. So my first assumption was correct. We are left with only one comment until we hit another penalty. So A is going to run. Now we are left with 2, 3, 4. This is the only valid option that we have. Definitely this line is going to produce an error. This B is going to produce an error. There is no this. How can it refer to an object that has never been created? Dun, dun, dun. Oh my gosh, you're gonna leave everyone behind. You solved 5 problems today. Thank you, bitch. My bad. I apologies for the cross language. How many of these are there? Okay, 4 more. Which keyword works as a reference to the current object whose method or constructor is being invoked? This is this. My god, it's abstract. So we were correct. What will be the output of the following code? Class book, then you have initialize a final value. It cannot be changed, and you have to, what will be the output of the code, right? And you cannot change this. This is going to give an error. This is going to give an error. You initialize and you are changing the place with a set to final, so this will produce an error. The recursive sense then cannot be assigned as price statement. Thus, we is incorrect since we cannot assign. Right. What will output of the following code? Class book and price stadium. We have not initialized a method. We are just saying that we have book count. What now? Book count is equals to what we are passing inside the constructor. Price of the book we are passing. Okay, the price is set to the price of this book is set to book V1 price is, so okay, that's super duper correct. Now book count is equals to 2, right? Book count is equals to 2. By default it is 0, so 2 is going to be the answer, right? So 2, just 2. Why are you saying book count? We are just printing one thing, right? Why is it 0? Why is it book count, book dot count 0 and 2, right? 0 and 2. This was fun. Which of the modifier can't be used for constructor? Actually, public, private, and protected cannot be used for a constructor. Can we put static for a constructor? No. Constructor is only called when an object of the class is created. We cannot use it before it. Well, there is something to learn from this question. Public, private, and protected can be used uh, for 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 constructors. So static was the odd one out actually. Static keyword is bound to the class and not to an individual object. Thus, we cannot make constructor static. Static keyword is bound to the class and not with an object. I don't understand this logic. Static keyword is bound to the class. This is correct in itself, right? Not to an individual one. This is also correct. But how are you justifying this statement? Which of the modifier can't be used for constructors? Which of the modifier can't be used for the constructor? Right, now we are on to a problem. We are just doing this live stream, so we do not break the consistency. At no point of time I don't want to see myself not actually engaging myself in problem solving. Well, today we haven't solved any DSA question, but still I think let's oh my god. Thank you for guessing along with me. So thank you. Okay, so I think this is it for the live stream, and we'll see you in the next one. Tata. Well, one thing to note that comments are live even when I stop live streaming.